What's going on, everyone? Today we are driving the 2020 Toyota Supra, and we're going to give you a little tour of this car and show you what it's like to drive it. So this is an inline 6 turbocharged, 295 horsepower, 335 pound-foot torque. One thing that everybody does that's not the most impressive, you know, when you're looking at the engine, is they'll just put these little plastic shells everywhere. It's a Toyota Supra. They could have, you know, made the engine look, you know, chromed out or something. They just went with the classic, put a plastic thing over top of it, which is fine. It's a great engine. I'll tell you, it's a fucking great engine. But it looks like shit when you open it up. That's my only grief about it, really. So this car is a curious beast. It was co-developed by BMW and by Toyota, and us automotive fans have been waiting since 2002 for a new Supra to arrive, and it was never really going to get made until one day some deal was struck in some shady boardroom somewhere in Germany or Japan, and this beast was born. So this car is actually made in Austria by Magna Steyr, so it's not even made by BMW or by Toyota. It's made by a third party, actually a Canadian company. So it's a German-Japanese car made in Austria by a Canadian company. A couple of clues: there are Toyota badges everywhere. But right here, Bayerischen Motorenwerk, it's a BMW. Doesn't lie. So there's a lot of criticism about this car. It does have quite a distinct look, and perhaps it's part of being Japanese or like overstyled, a little bit like Honda did with the Civic Type R. But there are so many of these fake vents. It's just for style. There's another one here. There's so many of them, and they don't do anything. They're just there because they look good. I'm 6'4", and Christian is 6'1". We're both tall guys, and number one question is, can you fit in a Toyota Supra? And the answer is yes, comfortably. Now, like, the first thing we did was adjust our seats when we got in here, and we got a couple inches here. It's pretty tight. I'm feeling like just about a couple hands in between, but really when you're driving, you got the perfect view out the front, and it's comfortable. A major thing we noticed was that this bar right here, I'm sure it adds some stability, but it makes a lot of creaking sounds when you're driving. Something that, you know, it's a little thing, but it gets kind of annoying after a while. If this was my car, I'd be probably asking them to fix that sound. So one thing I really liked about the Mark IV Supra, all of the driving controls, like the center console here is pointed towards the driver. And in this one, it's just for everybody. In fact, there's even this barrier in the way between you and the controls. But you've got traction control off button. We haven't even touched that yet. This car just has so much torque all the time. It's fighting to keep the wheels from not spinning. The sport mode, I do like as a button. This actually does something. So you turn that on, and you get those wonderful crackles whenever you shift down or whenever you let off the gas. And the throttle response is really tightened up, and it just goes really fast. The shifter, this looks like it's straight out of the BMW, like that. And the controls here, like, if you close your eyes and hit all the Toyota things, the screen too, it's all clearly BMW, which isn't actually a bad thing, because Toyota interiors, as we saw in the FJ, are by and large pretty disgusting. So this is actually a nice place to be. The seats, got some nice bucket seats that really keep you planted in your seat, stop you from moving around. This car has a lot of grip, so you kind of need it, especially as a passenger. There's no handles up here, so you kind of need to be cushioned by the seat. There is not a lot of storage. 2 cup holders, this, and your glove box, which you can fit some gloves in there. It's literally just a glove box. So there isn't a whole lot of storage. Definitely got that GT vibe. It's a really cool car. We've come here to Fault to the Credit Road today, in Ontario, just outside of Toronto. It seems like it's petrol heads heaven, because there are just so many bikers. Everyone's out for a joyride today in their fancy cars, and we're no different. Fuck yeah. So we've seen both versions of our car today, the Toyota version of the Supra and the BMW version, the Z4. I prefer ours, for the record. But what are the chances of that, just seeing both at the same time?
The odds are very small.
Kind of stumbled across a little automotive hotspot here. Yeah, the Higher Ground Cafe. Get a coffee, a little something to eat, watch all the fancy cars go past.
I'm an old man. I might not get a piece of it. Heavy there over there. Yeah. See the problems I get?
There you go. It's tight.
Oh yeah, I can lose my license and that's not a problem.
How'd you get him in there? Shoehorning Vaseline?
Yeah. Oil blubber. We're in Canada. Alright, so what are your thoughts on Toyota Supra?
No.
Beautiful once you're in it. There's the backfire I've been waiting for. Light it up. No.
It's amazing you just rent this on Turo. I mean, it wasn't cheap. It was like a little bit north of $400 between us, right? I mean, not the cheapest thing to rent, but it's one of those cars that, oh, you get what you pay for. Yeah. And we've been looking at it for so long, being like, ah, man, it's just out of reach. It's like so expensive. We're like, fuck it, let's go for it. We've been thinking about it more than any other car on Turo. So I don't know that I could give this a daily driver rating. It's not hugely practical. Like, I like having access to the trunk. It's great if it's like a Grand Tourer, if you're going to go on a long road trip in it and you want to take in some tasty driving roads along the way. Getting in and out of it is a challenge because it's so low. For some people, I can see that being a real challenge.
So then
So
would
it's
be
a weekend driver.
Weekend driver,
Yeah.
For two people cruising around the countryside, it's perfect.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I can't wait until they release the Targa top, so you can have like the wind in your hair. I love Targa tops. The Mark IV Supra Targa was a beautiful car, and I really want them to turn this into a Targa.
That's what I enjoyed today, hearing the exhaust. Us tear up some rubber, you know. It had its own orchestra going on.
But this really was a dream come true. I was waiting so long for this car to come out. What was it, like 17 years, 2002 to 2019? We were all waiting for Toyota to come out with a new Supra, and they did not disappoint. They really didn't disappoint.
Yeah.